Let's get it.
So, welcome to this special interview with Gorgeous Hefe. We're here to talk
You're
about their surprise release in Encanto Village, a project that's been buzzing since it dropped 2 weeks ago.
we out here, nigga.
Let's go. Feel like it's a long time coming.
Definitely.
I feel like it's been it's coming up on 7 years probably since we've known about each other.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
circumstances were different back then.
definitely. It was before COVID, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm gonna get into it just by asking the first question. Encanto Village was a great project that's been out for 2 weeks now. Why'd you
Sure.
choose to surprise drop this project, especially compared to your more structured rollouts like limited edition FM and Son of Abdullah?
Abdullah.
Abdullah.
So,
Dude, I messed it up last
you're
time
good,
too.
you're good.
This is my second go round, and here we go.
We'll do a hella crazy jump cut. But, yeah, man. So, I did more structured rollouts for those previous projects because those were kind of how do I put this without downplaying Encanto Village? I feel like those were kind of like main mission objectives. Like I had been like sitting on both of those projects for quite a while. Like my first attempt at like a really structured rollout was Don't Touch My Do-Rag back in like 2021, and that was with designing do-rags and stuff like that and doing photo shoots on some fly shit. And I saw how that got a reception and people really remembered that shit and that shit really stuck out in people's minds. And then I decided to try that with Son of Abdullah, seeing as that was my studio album that I was putting together at the time. Like around the same time, I was working on both those projects like concurrently. So that was almost a trial run from what would be the Son of Abdullah run. And then Limited Edition FM was also kind of similar as far as me just holding on to that music for a little bit. Like I had been working on that for like 2 years. So I had just been generating ideas for the show. I had been generating ideas for the cover art and the overall aesthetic versus Encanto Village was more kind of spur of the moment in a way as far as I had the idea to do the project with Lord Ra and have him produce everything for a little bit. Like I'd had maybe came up with the idea like late 2023, and we had talked about it here and there while we were finishing Black Blues Brothers album, and certain events just unfolded that inspired me and put a fire in my ass. Like, nah, let's make this shit now, and I wanted to surprise drop it almost as a break from like, okay, y'all know this shit's coming from like the previous couple of projects where I was able to sit there and really be meticulous and strategic about how I roll this shit out. You know what I mean? And with that being said, I'm still rolling out those previous two projects. I'm still promoting them joints. And Encanto, this is an element of that. Just slow takeover, you know what I mean? A slow burn, if you will, while also the initial impact just being crazy. And I think also the surprise drops really test like who's really tapping in, you know what I mean? Like I was surprised to see the reaction from people off that shit. But, that's a testament to when you really have pull and people really listen to your music, you know?
All right. What does the title Encanto Village mean to you personally and artistically? And how does it connect to the themes in the project?
See, I grew up in Central Phoenix, you know what I mean? Like I lived in many different parts of the valley. A lot of people from Phoenix kind of grew up in one area and spent like up until their teens in that area, early adulthood. But I grew up partially in Phoenix and partially in Mesa, you know what I mean? But Encanto Village is one of the neighborhoods that I grew up in Phoenix. So my cross streets were 3rd Street and Thomas and 5th Ave and McDowell. And I feel like those are areas that like it's very obvious the change that has happened in Phoenix in the last like 15 years. And I feel as though like just knowing like the name of my neighborhood, it almost feels like whimsical in a way. It reminds me very much of my childhood and stuff like that, the good parts and the bad parts. And um, I wanted to kind of portray like a full image of who I am, like as a person. And it's funny because like it's very rare that people really claim Phoenix like that. Like this is a good place to come to do business, or this is a good place to come and make money and leave, or this is a good place to escape from things, as many people do when they come out here. But it's very rare that you meet people who claim that they're from the soil, and I am very much from the soil. So I definitely wanted to put that in the project, and also just remind people that this is not like just a place where you do commerce. There are people that really fucking live here. Like I was telling you this yesterday, like there's really life in the streets of Phoenix, and I wanted to make sure that was very evident just from the title tracks, the cover art, the fact that I had Lord Rob produce it. He's also a Phoenix native. He's from Alhambra Village, so just
West Side.
yeah, big shout out to West Side. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to like make sure that everything was abundantly clear for everybody, especially like there are people that tap into my music that are from out of state, and but they know about Arizona. They know about like the Grand Canyon. They know about Emma Stone being from here and shit like that, or like Jordan Sparks and shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or like they know about me, but that's only because I've been putting out music for so fucking long. Like, but they can't put like a name to neighborhoods. They can't really envision this shit outside of it being hot. Like a couple of jokes from like Family Guy or King of the Hill and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's very true, man.
Definitely.
Very true. I really like that answer.
I appreciate that.
Let's get into the music part. I have a question. This one I didn't write down or prepare you for. But I really like the intro track and how you have Raw coming on and playing the role of a college radio host. And then he's looking for local talent. And then you just come on with that fire beat and you just start going off. And I really like the intro. It's part of the reason why I finished the project all the way through. When it was released, it wasn't released on Apple Music the day of, so I had to listen to it via YouTube. And I had to use ads, so it wasn't the most pleasing way to listen to a project. But, with it starting the way it did, it really held my attention from the beginning. So I just wanted to hear how that came about, and what made you want to start off with that as the intro?
Shit, man. So it's funny because at the time that I was making this fucking project, there were some threats made about me on the internet. And, I come from a very violent household, so I don't take kindly to threats. So I went to this 420 event, you know what I mean, looking to smack some shit. And dude who was supposed to perform, I guess, didn't do it. And I just really just chopped it up with the homie. It was actually, not to name drop no crazy shit, but it was at Oya Oya Crep, and that's where I took the cover art. It's the same day. That's why I looked pissed off, because I was ready to hurt somebody. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm sitting there for like 3 hours. I'm like, all right, word. I really came to see the homie do his thing, like he's painting and shit. But I was like ready for whatever. And I was like, all right, it's been hours at this point. Let me just go the fuck home. But I ended up linking up with Rob because he was like in relatively close distance, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I was still in like a zone, you know what I mean? He had that beat and it was just a drum pattern. And I think he was intending on adding a sample to it. But I was like, nah, this is perfect. Like Gucci Mane's one of my favorite rappers, right?
Right.
And he, at least initially, would never record with like melodies in the beats at all. He would just rap straight to the drums. And I was like, because I read his book and shit, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. How do I do that? You know what I mean? And I realized, like, the beats that have the most space allow you to do the most with your lyrics. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, when you have a beat that's almost overstimulating, it's hard to really, like, catch, like, the tempo and stuff like that, or, like, the little elements or the little pockets you can really hit. So sometimes like I just want to rap to like an 808 and a snare, and I have a couple songs like that from when I was younger, like 21, 22. And I was like, bet, like I think this would be like the ultimate version of that. And then to start the project with that, which is like I feel like a welcome change of pace from Lord Ra's regular production. His stuff is very texture focused.
Yeah.
Like you hear the beats on the album he did with D Monk's State of Affairs, or the project he did with Righteous, Look at What You Made Me Do. And those are very textured. Even like the Halal Boys records, like Anointed and stuff like that, those are very odd textures that he's using and picking for his beats and his samples and stuff like that. Versus just a straight drum loop that just slaps. Like, it's very rare. It's very like left field. And for that to be the intro was like, I guess the smartest decision, because I wanted this project to feel like a slap in the face,
Right.
honestly. And then as far as the skit, that was like kind of the thing that we kind of came up with, just because we really like the recent Cardi drops. We really like that song Evil Jordan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in the middle, like Swamp Izzo starts talking shit. So we were like, yeah, let's kind of do something like that. Like that was kind of the direct inspiration as far as like having raw talk, and then like because there's a lot of empty space, there's just so much room for ideas as far as like, all right, how are we gonna do these ad libs? All right, let's get the homies together and let's actually all do the ad libs. Like
Yeah.
we had Guru do some ad libs, we had AJ do some ad libs, I do some ad libs, Rod do some ad libs and stuff like that. And then like the Encanto University idea was just really, I think it was like Ra's idea, like Ra's creation, and I was like, yeah, bet, that's perfect. Cause like me and Ra have this inside joke about like the Halal Boys albums, because people really like the skits on those.
Yeah.
And like I was like, bro, the skits sell the albums, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
It's kind of true though.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the barbecue.
Yeah, that shit's hilarious. That shit's fucking, bro. Cause yeah, a lot of these niggas are employee of the month at Bitch Made Barbecues. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
You know what I mean? But like, yeah, man, like those skits, it adds to a universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to show niggas that we have a sense of humor and that we're not just these fucking super serious rap guys. Because where a lot of rappers make the mistake is they don't show their personality. You know what I mean? They're just kind of like, or the personality that they do show is just deeply unlikable. You know what I'm saying?
So one of my favorite tracks on the project is Wayne in 03, because your energy on there, going back and forth with Lil Raw, feels electric. How did you channel that energy, and why was the Wayne cameo so important? That little skit part at the end that you guys included of Wayne in an interview.
So, I guess it goes back to like some like Halal Boys history. So, basically not the first song that me and Rod did, but the first single that we put together out as Halal Boys was this song called Braille Boys in Belgium, which we did, I think, on Rod's birthday in 2022. So August 2022, around that time period. And that song is 3 verses, and the last verse is a back and forth, and that's like the funnest part that we perform. Like that's like the funnest part to perform when we do a live and stuff. That's a song that we always have like as our in our live performances, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I think the dynamic of us doing back and forth is so interesting because so Ra's style is very it's not offbeat, but it's very like he's on his own pocket entirely. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like, if y'all ain't heard his music, go check that shit out. But it's very much like, it kind of reminds me of like the pocket rappers like Ghostface had, you know what I mean? As far as like, this man is in his own rhythm. Like, I remember reading one of his older interviews where he described like Silk the Shocker as one of his influences. And I fucks with Silk the Shocker. He's one of my favorite rappers too. Like, that nigga hard as fuck. So that was one thing that we had connected on. And my rap pocket is a little bit slower. So I think there's like a good balance that is striked when we do stuff like back and forth. And we hadn't really done a back and forth thing in quite a while, honestly. So I felt like
it was time to bring that back, and especially on like a beat like that. Like that beat is just so hard and hypnotic. Like I remember showing him the beat to this Easy E song. The last song that he recorded before he passed away. It was called The Motherfucking Real. Some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With MC Ren. I always loved that beat because it was almost like this rim shot sound, this heavy bass line. It almost sounded like an Erykah Badu beat, but it's an Easy E song. And I showed it to him like, yo, like if we could make something like this for the project, kind of like the feeling of like riding around the city like on like a slow ass Sunday, high as fuck, just looking for something to do, looking for something to eat before, business moves get made. And he came with that beat, which was so kind of totally off from what like we were initially talking about. But I was like, nah, this is perfect. Like the elements are all here. Like even like how the beat was kind of looping like that and like hearing like that ice, ice, ice. It kind of reminded me of some old like Compton's Most Wanted or something like that, or some old G-Funk shit like before the Chronic like really like revolutionized everything. I was kind of thinking in the mindset of like an MC8 or like a DJ Quick as far as just how the raps were supposed to go, and all those songs had interesting structures. Like Nothing But a G Thing has that back and forth as well. And we're in Arizona, we're in the West Coast. As much as the West Coast doesn't like to claim us, we're still here, the dirty fucking desert. And the influences rub off, and that's kind of what created that, I guess, frenetic energy that we got on there. And then the reference to Wayne being, Go DJ came out '04, and that was like his first real hit as an adult, and he really went on that run. But Wayne was one of those artists, like if you knew, you knew. You know what I mean? Like I remember me and my sister really loved the song he had on the Hardball soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? It's like him, Lil Zane. I think Lil Bow Wow was on that shit too. Like all the Lils. I think Mario was on that bitch. Like, we were always aware of Wayne and what he brought to the table. My mom really liked that song of his Everything on his I think it's his second album,
Yeah.
on Lights Out. Like we've always been aware of what Wayne has brought to the table even before he became this like huge mega star. And '03 was the year before he became that. And there's some joints on that 500 Degrees album, so like I wanted to sample that interview because I always thought it was funny. Like he's like trolling the interviewer and shit. Like the interviewer asked him like some shit about Transformers. Like I was in the streets when that came out. Like some funny shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was just funny because he has like that line about like dreadlocks, like how it stops him from hurting people. And like I've definitely been approached like that, like yo, you have dreadlocks, you shouldn't be beefing. You know what I mean? Like niggas think because I got like long locks and I'm Bob fucking Marley or something, or like Wyclef Jean. I really smack the shit out of that nigga, man. Not that I want to be on that all the time, but I have the tendencies. So with all that being said, like I just really resonated with that piece of the interview. You know what I mean? And then like it's just so 2002 that like Pastor Courvoisier is playing in the background. You know what I'm saying?
I love that song.
That song is great. That also has a back and forth on it too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No Diddy. No. So gentrification and cultural displacement are recurring motifs in your work, especially in I Get Gone. How do you see your music as a way to call out these issues and reclaim space for your community?
Yeah, man. I feel like, rappers are like comedians. Do you know what I mean? Like there's definitely like your lowbrow comedy, your middle-brow comedy, your highbrow, or you know what I'm saying? Like that creme de la creme top tier shit, you know what I mean? Really like I feel as though like the rappers that are kind of you can consider them funny out here, a lot of their humor is really like rooted in just xenophobia, to be honest with you. Like just like punching down for real, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to kind of aim my comedy when I use that towards like the systems that are in place that prevent us from really like having things and like being able to just be comfortable in our own environment You know what I'm saying? As far as like rent being dumb expensive, you know what I'm saying? Like, or like the things that we grew up seeing regularly disappearing, or like local businesses that we've been supporting struggling to just pay fucking rent. You know what I'm saying? Struggling to maintain ground. And, you know, even like the second verse being the way that it is, like that was a lot of fire on my chest, but I wanted to say it with like a certain level of levity. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like almost like funny. So of course I have all these people from other states like bringing fucking tiki torches to my apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how these out of state niggas talk about my city, man, and it's like very much with a tone of disrespect, or like looking at this shit as like theirs for the taking or something. And like niggas love to abuse the C word. Niggas love to abuse the community word when it comes to Phoenix, because they know that niggas need people. Like people need people, man. Like I be on my dolo shit sometimes, but don't ever let it be mistaken like I don't need human beings around me, or I don't need love and relationship and connections and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And we all do. And it's fucked up when like folks come into our space using words like that or using verbiage like that to hoard resources. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's off me just getting off the fact that I drive a nice car. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are still issues that affect me, my neighbors, you, the people watching this fucking video. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, like everybody I know that I've grown up with, like, bro, I'm not even much in contact with most of my childhood friends from Central Phoenix. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I actually went to elementary school around Margaret T. Hans Park. You know what I'm saying? I actually graduated kindergarten in that church. And that school that I went to, Summit Elementary, doesn't exist.
Oh damn.
Like, the only proof of it that it exists that I have is my yearbook at my dad's house. And like I don't really see my dad like that. So like I would have to like it's like a lost artifact. And it's like imagine being a child, like the world that you knew just becoming like lost media. You know what I'm saying? It's a weird feeling, man. Like I feel like the person who like touched on it the best maybe was Danny Brown with that last project that he dropped, the Toronto, where he had that song Jen's Terrific Vacation. A lot of y'all are Jen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
All right, this is my favorite question.
hell yeah.
This will need an answer. So you've been featured on Bandcamp by writers who've covered some of the most important projects in music, yet you're often ignored when it comes to festival lineups and industry lists. Why do you think that is, and how does it motivate you moving forward?
Shit, man. That favoritism and that ignorance, you know what I mean? And to speak to ignorance, there are some folks that are in those spaces that are not aware that I exist, which, you know, is very real and very valid. But that also leads to the favoritism aspect, where it's like, I've been putting out music for a while now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like a new young nigga. Like I'm 25. You know what I'm saying? My back crack. You know what I'm saying? So there are people who are very aware that I exist. Probably just are in spite of the fact that I exist. You know what I'm saying? Really mad that I'm out here doing my thing. That don't want to mention my name in certain rooms. You know what I'm saying? Or really like give me a leg up. And I know that because I've had my experience and my dealings with these people, and all they really seem to know how to do is dick around. And, you know, I came in this music shit with my own resources and my own connections, my own contacts, relationships I've built since I was a teenager, which I'm 25, so you do the math. Some of these relationships go back a decade almost. You know what I mean? And that's threatening when we're in an industry where it's encouraged for a young artist, which I'm still young, but not super young. A young artist has to go through a label or has to go through this person, this person, this person. Because then there's that power dynamic. when I'm meeting you at eye level, you can't really punk me or make me do something I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Not that I would do it anyway, regardless of whether I had resources or no resources. But with that being said, a lot of the artists that are getting put in these positions have to deal with X, Y, and Z, have to deal with certain levels of disrespect, have to tolerate certain levels of immaturity that I, as a grown ass man, am not finna tolerate. You know what I'm saying? And it's very much appreciated when I do get recognized in certain publications, namely Bandcamp. You know, shit, AZ Central just named me and Rod's last project. Well, really named the Halal Boys as one of 9 essential artists from Arizona.
Let's go round of applause.
You know what I'm saying? Essential means necessary, important. The work that we're doing is necessary and important. And I know that it's cute for some folks holding a grudge or feel like they got some problems, they got some steam on their chest to pretend like we're not necessary and important. But they can suck my black balls. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I feel as though deeper than, me just getting my shit off, rejection is God's protection, man. Because we don't know what's on the other end of that curtain. Do you know what I mean? This is a very exploitative industry, a dying industry in an exploitative industry. I do this art form because I love it, and I do the business because it's endemic to what I'm doing. But the rest of the bullshit I'm really not here for. So with that being said, I got to do what I got to do, and I got to make my way. I know that God has bigger opportunities set in store for me. In the meantime, me and my niggas loke up and get our shit together. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the fucked up part is a lot of artists get snubbed from these opportunities and decide, bet, I'm finna quit, or bet, I'm finna just go in the fucking house and not speak to nobody and just be a little bitch about it. But a lot of you niggas need to tighten the fuck up. It's about to be 2025. We about to be a quarter century into this fucking 21st century, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got to tighten up and lock in with the people that actually love you and make some real shit happen. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, like, looking at these festivals and looking at these spaces that may underpay you or may take advantage of you as the end-all, be-all to y'all career. You know what I'm saying? So we just doing our own thing over here, just hella tunnel vision, and keep garnering these accolades, keep creating this fan base that has been growing piece by piece. You know what I'm saying? Niggas buying the merch in fucking Japan and shit. Nigga, shipping is more expensive than how much we got for the damn shirt. You know what I'm saying? Niggas in France buying the shit. Niggas in Germany fucking with the gang. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, we're niggas from Phoenix, Arizona. 4th biggest city in the United States, but the least considered in rap. And it's folks writing damn near essays in kanji about what we're doing. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, that's unignorable. That's undisputable. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's a good answer, man.
Cheer.
And let's just go into the next one. So who do you
Word.
see yourself as in the larger music scene, and are there artists or movements you feel align with your vision?
Shit, man. You know, as I came in this shit, man, like, I was making beats before I was rapping. So I always kind of viewed myself as like an architect of a sound in a way, as far as just like drafting up something that was just different and new. And I've been doing that forever, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely viewed myself in like the lanes of like a Rick Rock or a Manny Fresh or a Soulja Boy or like a Pimp C, you know what I'm saying, or a Mac Dre on the come up, as far as just doing some real out there shit and influencing folks. I feel as though my position and my purpose is to help as far as like helping some visions come into fruition. Not only myself, but my homies, you know what I mean? And like really create hits, really create anthems. You know what I'm saying? Like I just linked up with somebody I ain't seen in months, and bro was like, "Yo, I just heard the tape," and that's how I know like I'm doing what needs to be done as far as the people resonating with the music, because the people are the most important. Like the industry, whatever. You know what I'm saying? the the folks in higher positions, whatever. But it's like the people. You know what I'm saying? That really fuck with the music, and I see myself in like 10 years, like buttload of money, buttload of albums. Nigga, shows popping with all the black and brown folk from the soil out here, as well as other states, as well as other countries. People can relate to what we going through out here, out there. You know what I'm saying? Like really fucking it up. You know what I'm saying? Cause we got that ill shit, man. We got that next. Nothing basic, nothing H&M about what's coming out over here. Definitely very forward thinking, pushing the art form forward.
No, that's a. We're getting near the end.
Yeah.
All right. So my next question for you: what's next for you? More collaborations, more solo projects, more performances. Let's hear anything that you got that's concrete.
Jeez. So I can tell y'all, my next solo project is called Skrilla Season with my homie Claypool. My homie Claypool live in New York. He been sending me beats since Son of Abdullah project dropped. Like he actually found it on the YouTube recommended algorithm. He's been sending me shit. This nigga's nasty. Like this white man is nasty with the beats. Like I don't know what it is about like the genealogy of like tall white dudes and shit who make beats like him and Alchemist. I don't know what's going on. If like there's something going on with like the Vikings or something where these white boys are making beats and shit and they just turning up going crazy. But shout out my boy Claypool. That Skrilla Season's coming up next. That shit is about to be fucking bonkers, nigga. As far as the Halal Boys, we got this EP called Spirit Bomb that we just recently finalized. That's definitely coming 2025. That's just about to be fucking beautiful. Like, if y'all thought we was rocking the first two go-rounds, imagine this EP and then the album coming after it, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And then, as far as performances, we're planning something really huge, but where we're starting is February 28th at the Mesa Art Space Lofts. We're doing a show to commemorate the Black Blues Brothers album, which came out in April of this year, 2024. This is end 2024. So with that being said, February 28th, Mesa Art Space Lofts, it's about to be fucking cataclysmic. You dig?
Yes, sir. And the Mesa Art Space Loft is sick. It's
Dog.
it's affordable housing for artists. So in order to live there, you got to be an artist. You got to make a certain amount. So the fact that they're
Yeah.
collaborating with you on this is really awesome.
Man, it's a sign of things to come, man. You know, as far as like me and Rob, man, we've been professionals since the jump. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I was watching what y'all was doing from afar, and I'm from another side of town, bro. Like,
Thank you.
you know what I'm saying? And with that,
We were having fun.
yeah, doing y'all thing, man. And as far as me, I always been on my shit since I came out the womb, karate kicking and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with all that being said, you know, this is a testament to the new relationships being built. Big shout out to Chris for really helping us lock that piece in. You know, it's gonna be really, really legendary, man. You know, we just been again, like I said, locking in as far as collecting all of our people to collaborate and make something that, you know, is gonna be, the ripple effects are gonna be felt years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be one of those things where you was either there or you hate yourself for not being there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that.
I agree.
You know what I
You
mean?
need to make sure you're there February 28th, Mesa Art Space
28th.
Lofts, downtown Mesa. You got to be there.
Stupid, you know what I'm saying?
All right. Final question. Any
Hell yeah.
shout outs for your team, collaborators, inspirations that made Encanto Village possible?
Jeez. You already know I got to shout out Lord Rod coming through with those beats.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? Like, and just really being there with me as far as being dialed into the emotions and the spontaneity of making a project with me. You know what I'm saying? Like dog, I freestyle punching most of my songs. I think I wrote one song on the record. I think I wrote Cable and that was it. So like most of my raps are freestyle, and it's like it takes a hell of an engineer and a hell of a producer to sit with me while I'm going through my changes. You know what I mean? And my shifts. If you can feel where I'm coming from. I want to give a big shout out to Righteous for hopping on Grow Up, which is one of my favorite records on there. You know, Righteous and Raw have a project of their own. It's called Look at What You Made Me Do. It came out last year, and that was a really dope project. I felt like I need to get her on there. She's also from Nashville. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool.
And, you know, Tennessee is a huge influence on my music. Like Tommy Wright III was a huge influence on my my approach to this album. Obviously, 3 6 Mafia and stuff like that. Like, there's a reference to Tommy Wright III on the last track, Do It Ourselves, where I'm like, do you want to see what Encanto Village look like? There's a reference to Tommy Wright III. If you listen to a song he has, it's called Life in FCP, rapping over this Usher instrumental. It's classic. Go do your research. You know what I'm saying? Just big shout out to the South in general influencing this project. Big shout out to True Love, hopping on that Purple PT, setting that bitch off. I love how that nigga rap. It just remind me of just being on my real, like, just wild young nigga shit, flicking ash in 10th grade and like Chandler just being a jackass. I fuck with how that nigga rap, and we've been collaborating on the law. I've been producing some records for him as well. I want to shout out my boys, you know, Guru, Mac DeVille, for coming through and being a part of Halal Goons. You know what I mean? That's us, the Mid-Pack Mafia. That's our own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, them niggas came through. That shit is like some locks type shit, like some we made it type shit, or we gonna make it, you know. I just had to shout out the collaborators on this album because I know that if I were to shout out every fucking body, or I'll try to attempt to shout out everybody that I love and I fuck with out here, I will forget hella fucking names. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely got a couple of extras off this project coming out soon with some of the homies, so definitely check out for that. Big shout out to the West Coast. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Phoenix. Big shout out to Arizona. You know what I mean? Fuck Phoenix PD till I DIE. You know what I mean?
ACAP.
Yeah. That's why I dropped on 12-13. You know what I mean?
Hey.
You feel me? I kind of got the algorithm, or not the algorithm, but the, is it an anagram? I don't know. But I got it fucked up because it's supposed to be 13-12, not 12-13. But, hey, fuck the cops. Big shout out to my mother. Big shout out to my sister. You know what I mean? Like, dog, the chief believers in what I got to do. Shout out to my friends outside of rap. You know what I'm saying? Thank God I got y'all, because I don't know. If I only had rap homies, I might go postal or something.
So shout out. Yeah. So basically, shout out your community.
Pretty much, man.
Let's go all the way through Arizona out to Nashville, Tennessee.
Dog, the relationships that we cultivate, you know, big shout out to Virginia as well. You know what I'm saying? Dog, the relationships that we cultivate, we need that shit, bro. Because if we're not around people and we're just by ourselves, you don't know. It could get real mucky. It could get real ugly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks for keeping it real with me and giving us a look inside Encanto Village, whether it's calling out the industry, reflecting on cultural displacement, or sharing your dreams for a PT Cruiser. You're giving us more than just music. You're giving us stories and truths. Thank you again, Gorgeous Hefe. Everyone go stream Encanto Village right now.
Stream that.
Share this with a friend. Like this, comment, share. I don't know. Write something bad. Tell us we fucking suck.
Yeah, oh God. I mean, shit, man.
If you tell us we suck, that's perfect, because that means you listen to the whole thing, and that's what we need.
Go make a 6-minute video on Instagram.
All right, you guys have a good one. Have a happy new year. Bye-bye.
Peace.